Good afternoon, this is Force 13 Live. I think you can hear me, and you can also hear what's going on outside right now. I'm Nathan Foy, and we're here live to talk to you about what's going on in the UK right now. I saw just a few moments ago the situation over in the London area. The radar showing that a lot is going on there right now in terms of heavy rainfall. It doesn't appear to be snow, it would appear, but certainly some inclement weather occurring there right now. You can hear a plane roaring in the background somewhere. Let me show you what's going on. This is the latest UK weather map from Force 13. You can access this by going to force13.com/warnings.html. This was as of a few moments ago. And I'll talk you through the whole thing for everyone watching here in the UK. In northern Scotland you can see that there's that orange area marked with a 1. That's a special weather warning that occurs on there when there's more than one warning in effect. Now over there they've got high wind warning and a winter weather warning, which means that heavy snow and strong winds are expected in that area, above 60 miles per hour perhaps along the northern coast of Scotland. High wind warnings for the Orkney Islands, for the Outer Hebrides in part, almost in full, and winter weather warnings for other parts of the Highlands of Scotland, and you can see some flood watches there as well, marked in green. The green colours there usually flooding related. So flood watches, particularly for Aberdeenshire and the area around there. There's still, I know there's been a lot of snow in Scotland in the last few hours to my knowledge. I've not seen any pictures yet though, but also there's going to be a freeze tonight. As you can see, the dark blue areas there, those are all freeze warnings that are in effect. The sort of brownish areas there on the coastal fringes, those are wind advisories. That's for less strong winds, maybe 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then as we extend further south into England and into Northern Ireland there as well, Northern Ireland could see some heavy snow towards the southwest. Towards the east it's going to be colder but less snowy if at all, and will probably freeze there tonight. And same too for Northern England, probably won't be seeing any new snow falling there if they've had any yet. And there's lots of coastal flood warnings and advisories along the eastern coast of Yorkshire into Lincolnshire now, and also for the northern coast of Wales. There's a small possibility for some snow falling here at Force 13 HQ in the northwest of England, in the Greater Manchester area. The webcam behind is from our location. And some winter weather warnings a little bit further south into Staffordshire, could be seeing some heavy snow there, but also further south there could be some snow following that heavy rain that's falling in London and the area right now, and also along the M4 corridor you could be seeing some heavy snowfall occurring in the next few hours. More special weather warnings as well for it might be Essex, but also for Suffolk, where there are high winds likely to occur and a flood warning out there right now in those areas. I'm most concerned about what's going on in the southeast of England into Kent, because winds are going to be rising pretty quickly there in the next few hours. You could be seeing winds of over 60 miles an hour along the coast near Dover in the next few hours by tonight before midnight. And again, snow could be accompanying that later on. Usually in most of those areas further south it's going to begin with rain, probably occurring right now, and it will be followed by heavy snow later on. So whether that snow will stick, probably not in most places I should imagine, but it might do in some locations, especially in elevated positions and in places where the temperature drops below freezing, which is a possibility for some of those areas as well. The isolated freeze watch there as well in certain parts of England, and also the southwest as well. You can see some high wind warnings there as well in the yellow areas. and you can see the key there on the left hand side to tell you all about it. So you can visit that and take a look at it in your own time on the Force 13 website, and I'll be updating it as we go along this afternoon. 2 degrees the temperature here at Force 13 HQ Celsius, as we watch what appears to be some sort of sunset, or maybe not so much of a glamorous sunset going on in the background here. I'm just going to configure the settings there because I'm not sure that they're at their best. I'll do my best on that. Okay, that might not be the best thing to do. There was an option there. I'm trying to find where it is. Oh, it's that one. Here it is. Let's see if this helps at all. Ah, yes. That's a bit more representative of what's going on in the background right now. So that's a live shot from Force 13 HQ, looking outside, and it's pretty chilly out there right now. We'll keep you up to date of what's going on elsewhere as time goes on this evening. For the rest of our audience, give you a brief update on what's going on in the United States. There is a blizzard warning in effect for part of North Dakota into Minnesota. It is Minnesota, isn't it? I keep forgetting my states. So, ground blizzard conditions likely to occur in North Dakota primarily throughout the day today. But there's also a winter storm watch for large parts of the area as well. The area around Oklahoma, the extreme northern part of Texas, into Kansas as well. Large parts of Kansas under a winter storm watch, extending into most of Missouri, and extending into the mid part of Illinois. There's winter storm watches in those locations. There is, I believe, a freezing rain advisory in effect for a large part of southern Michigan into extreme northern Indiana. In Ohio, we have some flooding concerns there. There's a flood warning for large parts of the area around Lake Erie into New York, into Pennsylvania and New York. There's also 2 flash flood warnings, which I'll read out now. A flash flood warning is in effect for northwestern Jefferson County, northern Armstrong County, Butler County, and Clarion County in west central Pennsylvania. And to tell you what else is going on, a few flood watches by the looks of it in western New York. And Buffalo, the area around Buffalo, is in either a flood advisory or a flood warning. I can't tell from here because the colours are so similar. In the west, there is a winter weather advisory in effect for a large chunk of Nevada, and also extending into Utah. In California, we have winter storm warnings for a large part of the area bordering Nevada, and a lot of flood warnings occurring from Modesto as far as Redding, mainly along the I-5 corridor, and a lot of coastal flood warnings for the areas around San Francisco, the Bay Area, extending northwards towards but not quite reaching Eureka, though Eureka itself is under some sort of watch. So not pretty over in California either. Idaho has a flood warning in the south, in the southeast. There's also an avalanche warning along the border near I-15. And I think that explains everything in the United States right now. In Alaska, there's a lot of high winds going on, and some heavy freezing spray warnings. They've got a warning for everything. The UK doesn't do coordinated warnings like that officially, but Force 13 is issuing the warnings that you see on the right hand side of your page, which you can access on force13.com/warnings.html. If you've got any questions or comments for us whilst we're on the air this afternoon, this evening here in the UK, do let me know, because I do know that there's already been a few comments. Let's see what we've got. Here's some birds going in the background, squawking. Ryan Sprenkles says there's snow coming to the Netherlands. It wouldn't surprise me if that was true. I was there last year, actually. I will never understand how it could be so cold without it being below freezing in that country. It was freezing, as far as I was concerned. Adrian HD says blowing snow in Winnipeg. That I don't foresee as a surprise, considering what Winnipeg is like at this time of year. People saying hello, hello. And Stephen saying that the UK gets spoiled by the Atlantic Ocean currents. If the Gulf Stream ever decides to shut down or move significantly, then the UK would see massive weather changes. It would, wouldn't it? But I think this sort of a winter with significant snowfall was likely, given the current conditions worldwide, as we're dropping out of the El Nino into a potential La Nina. And also northern Maine, 70 inches of snow so far this winter. The next 2 weeks, Stephen says that he'll have a warm-up with just rain events. And the last week of January will be the next major polar cold in the eastern US, according to the weather models. I'm going to try and keep you up to date with what's going on around the UK with cameras that are located across the country, either the traffic cameras or the other cameras that are online. But all I can give you on the screen is what's going on right here. As you can see, starting to get dark. It looked much darker over in London, where it was raining significantly. But right now we're looking at not too bad a picture here in the northwest of England, where we've got a sunset going on somewhere. But if I find out about snow going on anywhere, I'll let you know. People who are familiar with the area around London, the M25 around Heathrow, looking very bad right now, as I think is probably expected. And the weather is certainly inclement in that area as well. Heavy rain appears to be falling in those areas along the western side of London. Yes, that was an interruption. Apologise for that. It does happen, but when it's just me here, obviously that is going to occur, and I'll have to take just a minute away. It does look like near blizzard conditions, though, along the M40 in Oxfordshire and in Buckinghamshire. So if you're familiar with those areas, they're looking pretty snowy right now. I'm not sure whether it's sticking, but it's definitely falling in large amounts. So Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire, and if we look at the map there, you can see those areas. Let's see if we can zoom in there on the latest Force 13's graphics. Yeah, they're underneath winter weather warnings, so little surprise that the snow is falling in that area. Let me see if I can get anywhere out of Berkshire, the area. Looking like it's more rain there. I can see a lot of vehicles going through. And the spray generated by them is significant in that area, Berkshire along the M4. Looking further west, perhaps, we might have some ideas of maybe snow falling in the Wiltshire area, maybe. Just looking at one or two cameras, starting to get failing light. Looks to be a rain-snow mix. Looks like sleet over there. And then let's zip northwards to Gloucestershire to see if we can see what's going on there. Looks like rain falling there towards Birmingham area. We might be seeing some snow falling there now, perhaps. It's looking like it's not raining or snowing there right now, but it has done very recently. Traffic isn't great. And then along the M1, looking further north towards Northampton, the conditions there are again looking pretty inclement. But I can't tell whether there is any significant rain or snow falling along there. Obviously in Scotland they had a lot of snow earlier today, or last night. And now take a look at Staffordshire, because they're also under the winter weather warning right now from Force 13. Again, it's not looking... I have to say, if anyone's got real hopes up of significant snowfall, it might be falling, but I'm not sure we're going to get much snow sticking today. In England, at least. It was foreseen by the forecast that it was going to begin as rain and then it would become snow later on. If you've got any questions or comments for us whilst we're on the air, I'm just going to be bringing you updates as soon as we have them. 2 degrees here at Force 13 HQ, certainly cold enough to snow as the sun sets here. But for the time being, we're just going to leave you for a few moments with the ambient noise of what's going on outside. We'll be back in a few moments. As you can see, pretty uneventful here. There's some nice red clouds, at least. So, as I say, elsewhere, rain appears to be the dominating force, but there is significant snow falling, I can confirm right now, in Oxfordshire and in Buckinghamshire. That is the only place where I can confirm significant snow falling as we speak. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Okay, let's see if we can get some questions, if we have any. Jake Elson says, do you know if any snow will be falling in Melton Mowbray? Well, I'll have to take a look at that. Just taking, that's one of the areas we've not really looked at yet. But if we take a look at the graphic, obviously Melton Mowbray is over in Leicestershire. So what can we see there? Oh, moving the one thing. Love mistakes like this when it's just me here. This was the latest warning zone. You can see that Leicestershire is under a winter weather advisory. So that is something where you may see some snow falling, but we're not expecting huge amounts to fall. Just to reiterate what the... Well, I've not said what the definitions are yet, but our definitions here, the winter weather advisory, which is under the sort of purple area, that means significant amount of snowfall are expected or possible in the area within the next 24 hours. as opposed to a winter weather warning where wintry conditions with heavy snow and or gusty winds are expected within the next 6 hours, or is already occurring. If you've got any more questions about the warnings, do let me know and I'll try and clarify. But for the Milton Mowbray area, probably not going to get too much, I shouldn't imagine, at least anytime soon. Abdullah wants to know about the tropical scene. That's usually what we cover. Will the West Pacific stay inactive for much longer? Well, it's not necessarily been inactive. We had the first tropical depression of the year form last week, 1W, which hit the Philippines. I think, and don't forget, in the Western Pacific we don't usually have a storm train until we get to around June or July. Usually it's the odd storm that occurs in February, March, April, May. In a moment I'm going to switch to another version of the warnings where you can see it being updated in real time, which I hope will assist in a better way that the one on the screen showed. But whilst I get that sorted, I'll take just a moment to do that now. Okay, you can see this is the editing page where we do all the updates, and you can see the current situation maybe in a little bit more, it's easier to control for me as well, to show you what's going on. So all those wind warnings down there in the south, and I'm just going to check to see whether we've got any new updates so that we can change the warnings and see if anything new is happening. And whether we'll be issuing any new warnings right now. And actually we are. There is this here in the Peak District area that is now into a winter weather warning as well. So the area over the Peak District, southwest of Manchester, west of Sheffield, southeast of Manchester, sorry, that is now under a winter weather warning to expect snow in that area. By the way, this snow thing in the southern part of England, it's not going to occur just yet. If you're expecting it right now, it's not going to happen yet. It's going to be in the next 2 hours where I think we'll see the rain turning into snow as we issue more winter weather warnings now for these two areas along the Welsh border, in Herefordshire as well, and also extending up here into the area south of Shrewsbury, also under winter weather warnings now. This is in real time if you're watching us live. And if there's any more changes, again, this area here now under the winter weather warning as well, and it will probably, I don't foresee areas north of these to see any significant issues. And the area around Birmingham and northeast and north and northeast of Birmingham, in those freeze warning areas which haven't had any winter weather advisories yet, they're probably not going to see any. But if there's any more updates on that, obviously you'll see it occur in real time, and I'm just checking to see, and I believe we are now going to be putting these areas here along the Thames estuary area and in Essex and Kent. They're now going to be under winter weather warnings as well. So people watching from the south, you could be seeing significant snow, and we're also putting those two areas in southern Kent into warning zones. They're going to be marked with a 2. These warning zones are for this. So that is now the case in parts of Kent. High wind warning and a winter weather warning occurring right now. And just to let you know, the winter weather warning is also in effect for the first warning area. And that's those areas here. Marked by the 1s and 2s is probably where it's going to be worst later on, because there's going to be strong winds in that area. Possibly into storm force, which is what this area here is suggesting. That dark colour means that winds could reach 60 miles per hour or higher along the coast. So those are all under special weather warnings, and the pink areas are all winter weather warnings for large parts of southern England. It is raining in most of those areas right now, but we expect that it will turn to snow later on in the next 2 or 3 hours or less. I'll keep you up to date with what the traffic cameras are showing. Shortly. Jack wants to know if it will snow in Hyde, Greater Manchester. That's on the other side of town. Just so everyone knows, Force 13 HQ is located here, as compared to Manchester over there and Liverpool to the west. Manchester and the area is under a winter weather advisory. There could be some snow occurring here later on today into this evening, but we don't know when and how much. And if it does, I wouldn't get your hopes up for any accumulations at all. Looking outside, it's still wet from earlier rainfall, and that will probably stop any snow accumulations from occurring. Modmouse says, did thunder snow happen today? That I'm not aware of. I have been monitoring thunderstorms as well. The only lightning strikes that have occurred today have been in the Glasgow area of Scotland. As far as I'm aware, nothing else has occurred in terms of thunderstorm activity, though some could happen in the southwest later today. That's quite possible tonight. Though I believe they're in West London, I don't think we'll be seeing any thunder snow there. So let me talk about what's going on and when everything's going to happen. So right now in Wales, that looks like there could be significant snowfall occurring there right now, especially in the hills. In the southwest of England, in all of those areas, it's heavy rain. Southern England, heavy rain occurring right now, but that's going to turn to snow very soon. We expect in an hour or two, possibly less. We already know that it is snowing in Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire. and by 6 o'clock we expect that the snow will be, if I was to draw a line around here, we expect that this whole area here will be experiencing snow by 6 o'clock. That I've just marked with that line. By, say, 9 o'clock, the band of what is now snow will move to the southeast to cover these areas and extend further towards southeastern Kent, and by midnight it will be gone completely from the southwest and away. So it's going to pass very quickly, and that's what will cause the wind as well. It will leave behind some snowy remnants, particularly in parts of Wales, and then is the possibility for some snow occurring here in the northwest as well, and possible accumulations if it's dried out over here. The temperature is slowly falling at Force 13 HQ. It is now 2.1 Celsius. When we started the show it was about 2.4, 2.5. But based on the new information, we are now placing Birmingham in a winter weather advisory zone. Let's go back to our webcam. As you can see, it's got quite dark here now. Other areas where it's cloudy, it probably got dark some time ago. As we watch the remnants of a sunset occurring here at Force 13 HQ. The time's 4:36 UTC, which is also UK time at this time of year. And we'll leave you with this shot for a few moments and then I'll return. Okay, I can confirm at this point that the snow that's been falling in the Oxfordshire area, it is sticking near High Wycombe. There is sticking snow, accumulating snow, northwest of High Wycombe right now. So that is probably a trend we'll see in other areas pretty soon, perhaps. But it is very wet in many other areas. There's been a lot of rain falling, and I'm not sure yet if it will snow later on, but whether it will accumulate or whether it will just completely get washed away by the standing water that's already present. We'll also be keeping an eye on Kent as well. And I'm trying to get a camera or two from maybe the Cambridge area, also under a winter weather warning from Force 13. And it appears to be just rain there right now as well. Let's see if we can look near the Wales area, because I believe that is one of the first places that it'll be snowing. If I can get anything. Doesn't it look like it's affecting the area yet? So we'll wait and see on that one. But here in Force 13 HQ, as always, it is a quiet scene. Nothing ever happens here. I'm still looking at what's going on elsewhere. I'm trying to look at the London area. It's still definitely rain over there. You can definitely see it falling significantly. Unfortunately, I can't show you the cameras. It would have been better if I could, but you'll have to take my word for it. But west of London, not much going on, but snow is falling and accumulating near High Wycombe. That's the only area that I've seen that occurring so far. Staffordshire is another place I'm watching out for potential snow accumulating. They're under a warning, of course. Winter weather warning. And of course over the Peak District now, they're under a winter weather warning too. So we'll be looking at that as well. The Manchester area is looking pretty wet, just like here. Though I'm yet to take a look at any of the cameras over the Pennine region. There is a little bit of snow on the ground, it would appear, on the M62 as it passes over the Pennines. It does get to some high elevations, so that is not really a surprise. Especially on the Yorkshire side though, there appears to be some snow. But right now there's not much else for me to say. If you've got any more comments, do send them in. Any questions for us. It doesn't have to be related to this necessarily. Send a message on the comments section, or you can contact Force 13 on Facebook and Twitter. Search Force 13 all in text, or you can add Fool 13 on Skype. FOOL13. as we continue to look. This camera is facing westward, by the way, if that means anything to you. And we're also looking south as well, because snow could fall even as far south as Southampton. So we'll also be looking in those areas too. Still looks like rain in those areas right now. Actually, maybe there is some snow falling. There is some snow on the ground in the Portsmouth area, it would appear. Though not too much yet. And yes, now we're starting to see accumulations in Berkshire. In the rural areas between Reading and Swindon, we're starting to see some snow accumulating in those areas as well. So let me mark them out on the map now. We're, not that image, but this, where we're starting to see snow accumulating. If I just annotate this here. So right now we're seeing snow accumulations in a little area here, by the looks of things. I'm not sure how I'm going to highlight that, but I made it a thick border or something. That's where we've seen some snow accumulating so far, and also a tiny area round here as well. We're seeing some snow accumulations. So in those areas with a thick border, we're starting to see verified snowfall accumulations starting to occur. Which is pretty interesting. I'm not sure what it means for everyone else, but the more time that rain falls in those areas further east and north, the less chance it will have for snow being on the ground. You're watching Force 13 Live, the time is 4:47. And the thick border is where snow has been recorded accumulating. Jake wants to know about Melton Mowbray tomorrow morning. There is a chance, I would say, yes. And I have to say, chances of snow along the east coast, in Lincolnshire and in Yorkshire, are significant as well by morning. So these areas here, they will all be under winter weather advisories right now, but the flood warning takes precedent over that, so you can't see them on the screen. It's a pretty messy situation across the UK right now. You can see a lot of warnings, all sorts of colours. if there's any updates to the flooding, I'll let you know. In fact, we do. We have some breaking news, and we've got some significant news as well. This is the first time this has happened in a while. A special weather warning is still in effect for this particular area, but it's pretty bad right now, and we might have to do something to make it even more special, because there is now a severe flood warning in that area as well, around Colchester. Let me tell you exactly where here. There are severe flood warnings in effect for West Mersey, the Strood and adjacent marshland, and for the coast from Clacton to Lee Wick. So just southwest of Clacton-on-Sea, there's a significant severe flood warning, and just south of Colchester, also along the coast there, a severe flood warning, and a third area as well, the tidal river Stour at Mistley, including the Quay and the Walls. That is now area warning number 3. Going to have to shrink the text here. If I could type at all. You're watching this live as new warnings come in. Particularly dangerous. Moving elsewhere, there's a lot more flooding concerns that are starting to appear, and we may have some more special weather warnings that are now coming into effect. Maybe not so severe. There are now a lot more flood watches that are coming into effect, and they take precedent over winter weather advisories, so we're now seeing flood watches starting to appear on your screen in these areas. Norfolk, extending into Lincolnshire and the area around the Wash. In fact, this area under a warning. Mainly along the coastal areas though, that warning is in effect. Flood warnings all along the coast here. The first time we've seen that for some time, and they also extend further north as well. We have coastal flood warnings in the area around Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Newcastle, extending further north almost all the way to the Scottish border. These areas under flood warnings. Also in the southwest and the south of England, we're now seeing flood watches, which are coming into effect for some areas. The ones that I am now highlighting and changing the colour of. and also for this area, which was under a freeze watch, now under a flood watch. And we also have to issue another special weather advisory for this area now. And that would come under, let's see, under warning number 1. Oops. Now appearing there. This is live at 4:54 PM UTC on January 12th. So there's our latest. If you've got any more comments for us, do let me know. Chances of ice on the footpaths tomorrow. Now that was in the London area. Well, let's look at temperatures tonight. After the snow has been and gone, temperatures will fall a little bit perhaps. Temperatures will be hovering around freezing, so it could be quite inclement when trying to travel on foot in the southeast of England tomorrow, and in the eastern part as well. Let's see if we can confirm any more snow in any more places now, or snow accumulations. Anywhere marked with the thick black border there are places where snow has been confirmed on the ground. But at present, I am unable to find any new areas where that is now the case. Night falling, of course, over most areas, all areas. Here's what it looks like here. Got dark quickly. Oh, there we are. Not so dark after all. I've just tried to get any new information here. But I can't confirm any more snow accumulations in any more areas here. Though it may well be snowing in some places that weren't reporting snow earlier, but I'm unable to confirm anything at this time. But certainly very inclement conditions across the board in the southeast. There's one particular place that's looking very snowy right now. Northwest of High Wycombe. It's the first place that I mentioned having snow. and there's a lot of it on the ground there. Looks like it's extended to near Oxford as well. I'm not sure whether Oxford is now having accumulations. I don't think so at this time, but not far from Oxford. In between Oxford and High Wycombe it is. This is Force 13 live as we enter the 5 o'clock hour. And indeed, rush hour across most of the UK. The traffic situation isn't so grand either. The M25 along the whole western half, pretty much. In fact, almost the whole thing, to be honest. We know it's got a reputation. It's pretty bad there tonight. The M4 on at least one of the carriageways from London to Reading is very clogged up. The M40 is struggling in those snowy areas from High Wycombe Junction 4 to Junction 6. Similarly for the M1 from Junction 5 to Junction 12, things aren't looking great there. Though hardly any of those are actually to do with the snow. Only that small part of the M40 between High Wycombe and Oxford is affected by the snow. Other areas simply rush hour queues which are never helped by the heavy rainfall which is still occurring in those areas. Similar in Manchester as well. It's almost like a scaled down version of London. The western side of the M60 ring road is also struggling, as is the norm at this time of day, as is the case around Manchester Airport on the M56 motorway too. So if you're travelling, it's not a great time to do so. But there is the possibility that we will see snow in some new places very soon. Looks like we're starting to lose focus with our outdoor cam as it gets dark. The temperature still at a somewhat buoyant 2.1 Celsius. And we've now got news from Northern Ireland. There is a winter weather warning now into effect for the northwestern part of Northern Ireland around Londonderry area, extending as far as Coleraine. Also, a winter weather advisory, winter weather warning is now into effect for the southwestern part of Scotland, the area around Stranraer and Newton Stewart, under a winter weather warning now. But most of Scotland tonight will have a clear night, at least to begin with, and then snow comes back in the early hours. That's why we've got all these winter weather warnings in effect, which I expect will extend into Aberdeenshire in the next hour. That is the warning, not the actual occurrence. The warning, don't forget, is issued with 6 hours of lead time. That is important to remember. there's the situation in the south of England. Still haven't seen any new areas that have seen snow accumulations. Any questions or comments, you can send them in right now. We'll get back to you. I'll also let you know of any new flooding concerns in Scotland in due course. And we do have some news out of Scotland now. There are now the areas under flood watches have now been upgraded to flood warnings. So these two areas here are now under flood warnings. It's another situation that is escalating a little bit there. And I'll let you know now where those flood warnings are. There is a flood warning from Findhorn to Lossiemouth, just north of Elgin. And we also have a flood warning on the coast from Portsoy to Macduff. Portsoy to Macduff, which I believe is on the northern coast as well. So that's the latest out of Scotland. We're going to take a short break now. Back soon. Well, we're going to extend our break by another 10 minutes here because there's not too much else going on right now. But you'll be kept up to date with the what's on the screen and whatnot. We'll be back at past, and then we will continue our coverage, and we'll give you everything else that's going on. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. I was on air. This is Pulse 13 Live. It's 5:29, getting on 5:30. My name's Nathan Foy. Hello. I'm joined now by Marcel Amon for this part of the show. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. How about you?
We're great. Snow is occurring across parts of the UK right now. You don't live here, you're in Austria. What's going on over there?
Snow.
Snow? Yeah, well, here in the UK everyone goes crazy when snow happens. I guess it's just like another day over there.
Well, not really. We haven't had snow for about 5 years now.
Oh, really? I was thinking you were up in the mountains or something.
No.
Fair enough. Well, the way you've been speaking in recent days, the temperatures there have been so low.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
surprised
much.
you didn't get snow more often than that. No?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm surprised you didn't get snow more often than you do if the temperatures are so low. What was it yesterday? -7, -8?
I think we hit -15.
-15 even.
Yes.
Well, there we are. Okay, let's move on. The latest across the UK then. As you can see, not much has changed, though during that break we did issue some new flood watches in these areas, in parts of Somerset here, also in Leicestershire, into Warwickshire perhaps, under some flood watches. I could read them all out individually, but we'd be here all day and all night. But what I will do is I'll read out all the flood warnings and the severe flood warnings that are in effect right now. Those follows. Severe flood warnings are as follows. The coast from Clacton to Lee Wick. The tidal River Stour at Mistley, including the quay and the walls. West Mersey, the Strood and adjacent marshland. That's all in this area, marked with a 3, around Colchester, just south of Ipswich. There are 40 flood warnings in effect right now. The area near to the sea defences in Anderby Creek and Chapel St Leonard's, the area near to the sea defences in Ingold Mells, in Mablethorpe, in Skegness and low-lying areas near Gibraltar Point, in Trusthorpe, Sutton-on-Sea and Huttoft Bank, from Donanook to Saltfleet, in Cleethorpes, in Humberston, Immingham Dock, the north bank of the Humber Estuary at Broomfleet, Faxfleet, Blacktoft, Hessel Foreshore, North Ferriby, Kilnsea to Skefflingham Wheaton, east of Hull, west of Hull, the north bank of the River Ouse at Saltmarsh, Sandhall, Skelton and Kilpin Pike, the North Sea at Almouth, Cowbar, Roker, Sutherland, Sandsend, Scarborough, Foreshore Road, Sandside and Spa Complex, Sea Houses, Whitby Harbour, Ritley Bay, Cullercoats and Tynemouth, Bridlington, Harbour Road and Floral Pavilion and the South Pier, Easington and Kilnsea, the Victoria Harbour Hartlepool, the River Aire at Rawcliffe and Rawcliffe Bridge, Goole Docks, the River Ouse from Old Goole to Whitgift including Swinefleet and Reedness, the Somerset coast at Porlock Weir, tidal flooding in low-lying areas of Grimsby, Barton upon Humber to New Holland, New Holland to Immingham Dock, Winteringham and South Ferriby, tidal River Esk from Ruswarp Weir downstream to Whitby Bridge, and waterside properties between Townbridge and Haven Bridge in Boston. There are additionally 69 flood alerts, but I will not be going through all of those because we'll be here all night. Additionally, in Scotland, there are flood warnings in effect for Portsoy to Macduff and Findhorn to Lossiemouth. That is along the north coast, Aberdeenshire and a bit further west. If you've got any comments or questions for us whilst we're on the air, do let us know. And I think we'll be joined by Craig shortly as well. Let's see if there are any new comments for us right now. Always Fair wants to know about Ireland. As far as snow's concerned in Ireland, I'm really not too sure on that one. I think snow is a possibility, but it's more for Northern Ireland.
There is snow, I think. I'm looking at the radar right now. It's indicating some snow. I think. Do you mean the main Ireland, so the Republic of Ireland?
Yes, I assume so.
Radar is indicating snow near Waterford. Not too far away from Dublin, actually.
Okay.
Sorry?
The Atlantic coast is expecting snow, is it? And also, well, I'm looking at the website now, and the risk of thunder and lightning as well. So there could be thunder snow going on in Southern Ireland.
Lucky.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I only see like rain on the Atlantic coast. However, inland there's much more snow. If you go along the border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, it's just completely snowy there, probably. As far as
yeah, there are winter weather warnings there, and actually we've just got a new bit here, and a winter weather warning now being extended further east along the border that you were just talking about there, Marcel, of Northern Ireland.
Oh. Yes. There's really much going on there.
Sorry?
There's really much going on there, isn't it?
And also, in fact, the warnings now cover the whole of Northern Ireland. So, to expect snow in pretty much the whole of Northern Ireland during tonight. It's always a changing picture, and we'll keep you up to date on it. As to what's going on in England right now, I think everyone wants to know where the snow is and how it's progressing. Last we knew, those areas surrounded by the thick black outline, these two here, are where we had confirmed snow on the ground. I'm going to try and get some new images to see if we can confirm snow occurring anywhere else.
Well, I'll go on YouTube to see you because I cannot see you on Skype, so that's a little bit of a...
It can get a bit confusing like that.
Especially when you're on a mobile device. Yeah.
But just to clarify there is snow on the ground in parts of Berkshire extending into Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire, and also in between Southampton and Portsmouth we had confirmed snow on the ground there.
As far as I am concerned, I also read some of the comments. It was saying like northwestern London and West Sussex. Essex, sorry.
Yeah, we can't confirm those just yet, but we hope to confirm that very soon.
Well, they say it's actually snowing, confirming settling snow, yeah.
We haven't yet confirmed it though. And in fact we can confirm more snow occurring somewhere else. Now there is snow occurring just south of Crawley near London Gatwick Airport. So this area now we have confirmed snow. and it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to suggest that maybe these two are linked. Maybe, but we can't confirm that yet. But that's what we know so far.
Already much, isn't it?
Yeah, by the looks of how it looked near Crawley, it was significant amounts of snow falling there as well. So that is rather interesting. This is reports not only of snow falling, but of snow accumulating. We may be aware of snow falling elsewhere, but we're only marking them on the map if it's accumulating.
I'm very surprised that there were no reports near Canterbury and London, because that extratropical cyclone was just going over, bringing much of precipitation over there.
Okay, we're just getting some more news now, I think. We can now confirm that significant snow accumulations are occurring now in this area, just southeast of London. I'm guessing that's Kent, but it might be near the border of another county, Sussex or wherever, East Sussex. But that area now has snow confirmed as well. And in fact, I think we're about to be able to confirm the whole southern side of London there has now snow accumulation. So we can now put in this whole area. Oops, what's going on there? This whole area now under snow accumulations. That is confirmed. Okay. I'm just going to wait for some more information. Marcel, I don't know if you'd like to discuss anything at this point.
Not yet. Well, keep updated on the radar. See what it offers to me.
Yes, well, the radar's shown all sorts of things. It was heavy rain in London earlier.
Yes.
It was expected to turn to snow everywhere, almost, and that is now occurring. Yes, we can confirm snow falling in more places now as well, along the southern half of London. I believe we can confirm it as far as the Thames, and also a little bit further towards the west there as well, which includes the areas such as, oh goodness, let me get my local geography book out. Where are we? Reigate, areas like that, probably under snowfall right now, at the westernmost extremity. And I'm just trying to confirm that it is falling even further west than that as well, slightly along the M25 there.
The radar indicates near London, basically everything surrounding London and London itself is in a very heavy rain or either snowfall area after the radar.
Yes. So things happening pretty quickly right now. We're just trying to confirm any more places that are now being hit by snow. I believe snow is falling in West London, but that it is not yet accumulating. That might change before too long, looking at how it's progressing elsewhere. I'm now trying to look at the northeastern side of London towards Essex to see whether we're getting accumulations there yet, and it's difficult to tell at the moment. It's possible, but we cannot yet confirm it. We hope we're satisfactorily keeping you up to date with what's going on. As the snow continues to fall, yes, it's falling significantly north of the Thames as well. Not quite into Essex yet properly, but into these areas here you can see all the areas in the thick outline are now under snow, and we'll try and make that a little bit more representative by making it a background like this so that we can get rid of the line. So the area under the white zone is under accumulating snow right now. I think that looks a bit tidier. That's where we have snow confirmed so far. Any more reports and we'll get them through to you. Okay, let's see if we've got any more comments right now. I know a lot of people have been talking about what's been going on with the snow. We've lost Marcel over there. We'll try and get him back at some point. But let's see what we've got. James Christmas says there's setting snow in Benfleet, South Essex. And Pinky's Forever saying it's snowing in Harlow as well, but not yet setting. That may happen before too long. Okay, let's see what else have we got going on right now. Nothing new. But just to reiterate what the potentially severe situation is in the Colchester and Ipswich area. Just south of Colchester and near Clacton-on-Sea, there is a severe flood warning for the areas along the coast right here. Those areas under a severe flood warning right now. Adding to that the potential for heavy snow and for winds above 40 miles an hour gale force. Indeed, some places could see blizzard conditions later tonight as the snow moves out. I don't think many places will see that. I'm thinking it's going to be mainly southeastern Kent and along the Essex coast and Suffolk and maybe parts of Norfolk as well. And to that end, these areas here, all of these areas that I'm highlighting are now being put into a special weather warning, and that'll be marked with a 1. Nope, sorry, it'll be marked with a 2. Because they're now expecting gale force winds in those areas also. (5:48 p.m. here in the UK), and that is the latest. The white areas are places where we have snow on the ground, and we expect to see more places with snow on the ground pretty soon. Not much else for me to say just now. But also that the high wind warning areas are extending further south now, and the Brighton area also under the high wind warning. And I think we are now possibly able to confirm more snow areas, perhaps. Have to bear with me on this one. Okay, now it's not cooperating. We'll get there eventually. No, not quite yet, but I do believe snow is falling across significant parts of Essex, but it is not yet sticking. But the way it's going, I think it might stick pretty soon. I'm now trying to take a look at the western side of London to see whether we've got any more snow accumulating there. Obviously traffic is heavy. But no, at the moment it's just the southern side extending into parts of east and west Sussex, and also maybe one or two areas in Hampshire, particularly between Portsmouth and Southampton. Can't get any more confirmation of what is happening down there yet. But that's the latest we have. It's a very dynamic weather scene that's going on. There's lots of warnings of differing varieties all over the place across the UK. Almost every area is coloured in to some extent, and you can see all those flood warnings now existing in along the east coast. I'm now trying to confirm other areas of snow perhaps. I'm not sure about further west towards Wiltshire and areas such as that, whether they may have missed out on the snow or whether they are indeed getting snow now. I'm not quite sure on that at this stage. But it's going to be a cold night for many people who aren't having snow, particularly across Yorkshire, as you can see all those dark blue areas, and in other parts of England and Wales, freeze warnings, and indeed for large parts of Scotland as well, the borders region towards central Scotland, with freeze warnings and more snow warnings further north as well. It is really quite a mess. So I'm still waiting to confirm any more snow areas, but I'm unable to do so at this time. But that is the latest. The temperature here at Force 13 HQ remains the same, 2.1 Celsius. We may be having some small amounts of snow later tonight. Well, I think we're going to call a close to our stream at this point, and I think we'll return later on tonight with more information about what's going on across the country. I don't think there's really much reason for me to stay here right now, because I think we know quite well what's going to happen. And at this point I can actually also confirm that snow has occurred further east into Kent, all along the Thames estuary. It appears that we have snow over there now as well. And I'm just trying to see how far its extent is. Yeah, even further maybe into this sort of area, almost as far as the Isle of Sheppey. So this seems to be where the real snow area is kicking off, so to speak. Around South London into Kent and southern Essex appears to be the epicenter right now. I'm not sure if it's still snowing in the area further west where we had snow on the ground not long ago. Let me find a particular webcam that showed quite well what was going on. Yeah, still very snowy in those areas near High Wycombe. Let's see if there's any more comments or questions. Not too much at this point, just that there is sleet occurring in London. That doesn't surprise me at all, with the way it's been looking elsewhere. The white areas is where we can confirm snow on the ground and accumulating. Not much else for me to say at this point. Things are going not quickly enough. But snow appears to be falling to the northeast of London as well, but not yet sticking. And I guess we'll be waiting for that situation to change. And now we can actually confirm some more snow on the ground, and this is further north. In this area we can now confirm that there is snow on the ground. And again, that appears to be Essex if I'm not mistaken. That area now reporting snow on the ground. And snow is falling at all points in between. We believe snow is falling but not sticking, sort of around this whole area, the whole of London basically, and beyond. Over there. We believe snow is falling in those areas but not yet sticking. Or at least, at the very least, sleet. But we're now confirming snow occurring a little bit further north there towards Cambridge. Cambridge itself looking pretty quiet, but they are also under a winter weather warning. So as we tick towards 6 o'clock, we're going to end our coverage at this point, and as I said earlier, we'll be back again, I assume, at a later time this evening. I'm not sure quite how it's going to work out yet, but if things are significant, we'll be back on air, and probably with members of the team as well. That's all for now. We'll see you again soon. This was Force 13 Live, a UK weather special. Talk again soon. Bye for now.